Althea has too much novelty fabric. Gina is making a comforting quilt for her friend. Marian wants to celebrate a fabric keepsake from her travels. Let's help them out. Hi, it's Fran Morgan with Fabric Café, and I'm your fabric matchmaker. Novelty fabrics can be difficult to match in quilts. They are often big prints with strong themes. It can be hard to find matchers that support it, but don't fall flat. Today, all of our participants have different novelty prints that are drastically different in styles. We're going to look at how to match those fabrics and find the perfect patterns to bring them to life. Let's get started. Our first fabric was sent in by Althea. It is this really fun fabric. We have a black background and we have all of these playing cards scattered across the surface. And we have the back sides, the blues, the reds, and then we have them turned over and we have our kings, queens, jokers, twos, all of them just scattered across, almost like you did one of those 50 card pickups where you used to throw them on the surface and they just scattered all over. So it's so much fun. So let's see what Althea has to say about this fabric. When I first started quilting, I loved fabric more than quilting. My stash grew too large. When I looked through it, I saw only novelty prints. No flowers, no animals. Some pieces left me unsure how to fit them into a pattern or where to start. I need your help. You have a great eye for matching fabrics and always do an excellent job. Well, Althea, I think we have something really fun. Let's go check out the pattern we chose. Now, Althea, I chose to put your fabric in the Charisma pattern, which is a really fun pattern. I think it works perfect with your fabric as the focus fabric and this big position here. Now, this is one of our big block quilts and it measures 43 inches by 61, which is great. So right here, these big blocks here, like I said, is really going to showcase your fabric well. I really like the movement that the sashing creates. In this case, we have our stripe going all the way in behind our squares, which I think is really, really cool. Now we have also alternated our frame color of our big block just to give it some extra interest. And you know, this is a fun one to go together. It's going to go quick. There's very few half square triangles and you're going to have it in your fun game room in no time. Now, Althea, like we mentioned at the quilt, we are going to be putting your fabric in the #1 position, which is this great big square right here. I think it's perfect because you're going to get a lot of cards. You're going to be able to see all of the suits, all the playing cards in this big area around. Now, your focus fabric has some very strong colors. It's black, white, red with touches of blue. So I wanted to keep a stronger contrast theme throughout your quilt. Because of the black and the white, I actually chose our #2 fabric that almost is like a gray blue on a white. It's just a little bit of a texture here, picks up some of the blue in the playing cards just a little bit, but still gives us that strong contrast. This is going to go everywhere you see the cream on this quilt here. Now for our #3 fabric, I chose this black. Now I thought this black was perfect. Why? Because it has all the suits, tone on tone here, pulled from the cards. So we have our hearts, our clubs, our diamonds, and our spades, which is perfect for your fabric. When you're matching fabric, pull in a consistent element. So if your focused fabric has a little bit of stripe in it, pull in a stripe. If it's got a little bit of polka dot, pull in a polka dot. If it's got playing cards with suits, pull in a fabric that has all of the suits on it. I think it's the perfect way to add that continuity. This black is going to go everywhere the red is on this quilt, and it's going to give us that really fun, bold quilt that I just love. And you know what the black and white does? It kind of falls to the background here, and those playing cards and those big blocks really come forward like they're just all over on that square. I just love that. Althea, for participating today, we are going to be sending you 1 yard of your #2 and your #3 fabric, as well as the book Big Block 3-Yard Quilts. Now this has our Charisma pattern in it. Now let's see what Althea has inspired for everyone else. Okay, so Althea inspired a great kit, and I'm so excited whenever I get to bring a fabric that is so close to the participant's fabric, and this one is. We have our playing cards on black, and we have our red and our blue backs of our cards here, and then a lot of them are turned over so you can see all the different suits and numbers and It's great. It's so similar. This is our focus fabric. It's going in our big block here, so we get that same look. Now I've brought in the same number 2 fabric, and it's gonna go everywhere you see the white here. And then of course, we're gonna keep that continuity, that theme with our black that has our tone-on-tone suits on it. That is gonna go everywhere you see the red there. Is it not so much fun? I just love this, and as you can tell, it's very similar to Althea's. That black and white gives such a great background. Those playing cards are just popping off the surface. All right, let me get you the kit information for this. It is called Full House, and the pattern is Charisma, and it's from the book Big Block 3-Yard Quilts. Now Gina sent in our next fabric, and I think it is such a great example of a wonderful traditional fabric. It is toile, and in that style, it has a nice creamy background here with some of the red designs on it. Now, if you're familiar with toile, you know that it's very common to have the trees in the houses and the little people with their staffs and different things like that. It's a real traditional print, but I can understand that sometimes it's a little hard to match and keep it the focus of your quilt and really blend those colors together. Now, before we show you the quilt, let's read to see what Gina has to say about it. Hi, Fran. I just love your show. I was gifted this fabric by a sweet friend of mine who received it from her mother. It's so special and meaningful that I want to make a quilt for her, something she can enjoy and that will help her remember her mom. I can't wait to see how you put this together. Well, Gina, let's go check out the quilt. Now here we have the Cotillion pattern. Really love this one because we have a great big snowball here and a block that has so much movement in it. Now, Gina, I think your fabric that was gifted to you is going to be perfect in this spot right here. Now, because you have that toile style fabric and it's directional, it's going to work here. And I kept with a pattern like this so that we've got lots of interest in the alternate block here, and you've got a great big area to see your very interesting fabric here. And this pattern works so well with traditional classic fabrics, and it really creates an elegant design. Let's get it on the table so we can get to that image and see it. Now, Gina, we have put your fabric in the #1 position in our Cotillion quilt. I like that because we have a nice big snowball here that's really going to showcase the toile, and I think that's really important. Now, sometimes when you're working with a fabric like a toile and it's really hard to repeat an element, like we did with the playing cards, what you would want to do is pick a pattern like Cotillion that gives interest and draws your eye to a main focal point. Because you certainly wouldn't want to put 2 toiles together, but we've pulled in the colors, we've gotten some really interesting piecing, so it's perfect. Our #2 fabric here is a cream. Now it is a little bit lighter than Gina's background on her toile, but it has some texture with some darker bits. I didn't want to go darker because I didn't want to bring the quilt down. I wanted it to still have some brightness to it and that sentiment that you're going to give as a gift, so you want to make sure that it's still a happy quilt. It is going to go everywhere the cream is on this quilt. And then for our #3 is this red. I pulled in a textured red, and it does match your print on your toile here. And then it is going to go everywhere you see this. This is going to give us these red and white stars that just look like they have so much movement. I think this turned out beautiful. I love this quilt and the way that the piecing and the colors fall because it keeps your eye traveling with a diagonal movement and that spinning star there. But there is that beautiful focus block showcasing your fabric, Gina, and I think it's perfect. I think it just works so, so well. And we have a little bit of your fabric on the border, which I think is great. Now, Gina, for participating today, we're going to be sending you 1 yard of the #2 and the #3 fabric, as well as the book, Make It Home with 3-Yard Quilts. And this book does have the Cotillion pattern in it. Now let's check out what we have for everyone else. Okay, for everyone else, I wanted to stick with red and white like Gina had in her quilt. Was not able to find a toile, but I found these beautiful roses on a red background that I think gave us that same traditional sweet feeling. And I really like this. This is going to be in our focus fabric and our great big snowball block here. Now in this case, I have put a very small print in our #2. And we've just got a little red flower here with a nice cream background, just to keep a little bit of interest there. I think it really helps, and it's going to go everywhere the cream is here. And then we've paired it with a nice red in the background that once again has a very small print on it, and that's going to keep that red and white theme that I really love. And of course, that is going to go where the brown is. This focus fabric looks great in that great big snowball. And in this case, the number 2 has just a very small print on it, so it gives us that perfect interest in that number 2 position. Red just pops. I love it in the star. And I think this turned out really, really well. Kit information on this one is Timeless Love. It is our Cotillion pattern, and it's from the book Make It Home with 3-Yard Quilts. Now, Marian sent in our next fabric, and it is so unique and charming. I just love it. It is of blue tones here, and we have this folk art design with some birds here and some trees, and it's so very interesting. It's a beautiful blue background, kind of to a navy with a lighter blue on top. Absolutely charming. Let's see what Marian has to say about her fabric. I love to travel and often buy fabric in the places I visit. We recently visited our friend Charlie and his wife Helena in a village near Brno in Czech Republic. Helena was interested in my quilting and gave me a piece of fabric with traditional Czech folk design that is no longer being made. I was touched by her generosity. I want to make a quilt that features this fabric as a keepsake of that trip and to honor her gift. I would appreciate your guidance. I love your videos and books and have made several quilts for the group I belong to. We make quilts for hospice, fire victims, refugees, and others in need. Marian, I think we have the perfect quilt for you. Let's go check it out. Now, Marian, I put your very special fabric in the Reflections quilt. Love this quilt, and I actually thought that the name was very appropriate for the situation, so you can reflect back on the beautiful memories that you had on your trip. This quilt has a nice big snowball here. It's alternated with a block that is bordered and then bordered again, so this is very easy to do. Now, there are no half square triangles in this quilt, and I really love how quick it is when there's no half square triangles, but it really has so much interest. Really love it. Your fabric's going to look great in this. Let's go check it out. Now, Marian, we put your fabric in the focus position because we want to make sure that it's in the biggest area possible because it is darling fabric. So your focus fabric here, all your little birds and their polka dots and trees are going to go in the big block here. Now, there's also a little peekaboo of your focus fabric right in the center of the alternate block here, which I think is really special. It's just going to keep that color carried throughout the quilt. And I think that this is the perfect size. Now, when I'm picking my matchers, because I didn't have a real strong theme that I could pull from, I kind of kept with that whimsical feel. She's got these polka dots in the background that kind of look like they have some wiggle and movement to them. So I kind of picked up on that theme and chose our number 2 with that in mind. So with our number 2, we kept the blue and white, and you can see we have all these little swirlies and dots that have a little movement that have that same whimsical feel of the focus fabric. This is going to go everywhere you see this kind of pumpkin color on this quilt and on the border. So for our number 3, we have stayed with the navy. I kept this color going throughout. So it kind of made a monochromatic quilt, but it really kept it unified. So the number 3 is that dark navy that pulls in some of the colors of the focus fabric. That color is going to be on the border of our alternate block as well as our little snowball corners here so that it keeps it all pulled together. I love the way your focus fabric is popping off the surface. It's framed so beautifully in those snowballs. And I think that our number 2 really brightens it up and really draws you in. And I especially like that little pop of color of your focus fabric in the middle of that alternate block, right in the center of that square. I think it turned out absolutely charming. Now, Marian, for participating today, we are going to be sending you 1 yard of the number 2, 1 yard of the number 3, as well as the book Stash Busting with 3-Yard Quilts. This has a reflections pattern in it. Let's check out what we have for everyone else. Now, before I show you this next beautiful kit, I want to talk just a moment about our stash busting book. This book is written to be able to use pre-cuts. Now, you can either use 3 1-yard cuts of fabric like we're doing here, or you can substitute pre-cuts in certain places. The patterns spell out exactly where you can make these changes. This pattern, you can use layer cakes, jelly rolls, and those little 2.5 mini charm packs. So it's a great way to use up those pre-cuts that you have in your stash. Now let's look at our next kit. Now I'm gonna say, you heard Marian tell us that she had a very special fabric, and she absolutely did. It was charming, and I could not find anything that was even remotely close. But whenever I saw this flower, I thought, now this is a fun, kind of a folk art styled flower, and love the coloring in this. I thought this was gorgeous, and I thought, yep, we're just gonna do this because it is so pretty. Big blooms on this. We have a background of navy and green. Our flowers are done in turquoise, so it just really has this gorgeous, yummy color combination with all these flowers popping off. This will go in our snowball and in the center of our alternate block there. We have kept this fun number 2 with this swirl, because here it picks up all of the colors in our focus. And I like that it keeps that whimsical feel like our flowers have. So of course our number 2 is going to go everywhere. You see the pumpkin here, a little on the border as well. Then our number 3 will be this gorgeous navy, and look at that. It picks up all the navy in the background. This navy does have some lights and darks to it, just those little flecks of sunlight in there to kind of keep it not going too flat. Our navy's going to go everywhere. You see this dark black here. Isn't this just gorgeous? I love the way that this flower fabric just kind of pops off the surface because it's so beautifully framed with our number 3. That blue just really helps your eye to travel. I love the way too that our number 2 fabric frames our focus fabric. Once again, just gives us that peekaboo. I just think it creates so much interest on the surface of this quilt. Let me get you the kit information for this. It is called Traveling Threads. It is our reflections pattern from the book Stash Busting with 3-Yard Quilts. Now I wanted to share a really special quilt with you, and we have a picture here. This is Patricia's quilt. She participated in episode 26 of Matchmaker, and her fabric is the focus fabric, and it was a border print. Now I'm gonna tell you, sometimes when I get these fabrics, I'm a little stumped, but you know, when we put this in Checkmate, it is perfect. And Patricia, wow, you did a beautiful job. I love the way the border print is showcased in that long row of fabric. It is excellent. Great job. Thank you to everyone who participated today. And thank you for sending in pictures of your finished quilts. I really love seeing them. If you have participated in Matchmaker and would like to send us a picture of your finished quilt, send it to matchmaker@fabriccafe.com. Now, double focus patterns are another fantastic way to use your novelty prints. If you would like to see some great double focus patterns, then be sure to watch the video that pops up. It's Fran Morgan, your Fabric Matchmaker.